switched over to Chrome, Google Chrome as my browser, and we're now live on all three platforms. So yeah, we should be there now. Thank you, Eric. Celine, who's normally with us for our special messages of magic, is actually at the dentist today. And so Eric Webb, who is, as we call him, affectionately call him Speedy Gonzalez, he is here. He's part of our Dynamic Destinies team. He's a wonderful human being, just a beautiful soul, beautiful spirit, and he's here to help us while we're doing our live event on these three platforms. So what I'd like to ask you now is if you have a question for me. And I know last week when we were doing this session, we're still doing it live on Instagram, but Facebook obviously stopped and YouTube stopped because of the power failure that we were experiencing. And I know there were many questions last week. And of course, once the event was over and once it was gone, so were the questions. So if I missed your question last week, I apologize. So of course, it was something outside of my control. Can't control the power that's directed to the home or the internet power. But what I can control is how I feel about it and how I react to it, which you can control as well. You're always in control of your emotions. And therefore, we're grateful to be back with you today. We are absolutely here to address any questions that you may have as it relates to anything that I teach in the field of manifestation. That's what I'm here for. But we're also going to start our session today with study time. And this was like a new format that we switched to recently. As a matter of fact, last Thursday, we switched to study time with Peg in our Messages of Magic. So what I decided to do was I have a couple books here on my desk, and I'm going to pick them up, and we're going to do some studying. And we're going to do it based on something that I've already chosen to study with you. And it's from this book. And this book is called God Works Through Faith. God Works Through Faith. And this, the author is Robert A. Russell. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some guidance from here. And then I'm going to talk about it, and then we're going to go to questions. I see the questions are pouring in now. Thank you, Eric, for grabbing them for me. Thank you for everyone that's here on our live event for posing your questions, because I'll be addressing them momentarily. So we're going to start reading from page 61. And this was a line that I actually highlighted. And also this particular line that I'm about to read is something that I created a morning manifestation message for. Now, if you're not a subscriber already, what I suggest that you do is become a subscriber to Morning Manifestation. And you can do that by going to morningmanifestation.com. All right. So morningmanifestation.com, and you subscribe, and it's free, totally free. No cost. And I know some of you, if not many of you, are already subscribers to these videos. I create videos, and we caption the videos, we edit the videos, and we send them out 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And so I actually recently created a video based on this next line that I'm going to read to you. And you'll see that if you become a subscriber, you'll have access to all of my videos. We also post them on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, you might be on YouTube right now. Make sure that you become a subscriber to my YouTube channel so that you will be constantly updated to and for any new videos that we're adding. Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to read. We're reading from God Works Through Faith on page 61. So here's what he says. He says, you cannot follow 2 lines of thought and get 1 result. Now, this is, I find, one of the biggest reasons why people do not achieve their goals is because they're following or attempting to follow 2 lines of thought. So what would 2 lines of thought be? Well, one line of thought would be focusing on what you desire, and another line of thought would be focusing on what you don't desire, right? So to me, it's like the experience of going forward and going backward and going forward and going backward and going forward and going backward. And then somebody goes, well, I'm not getting anywhere. Well, hello. No wonder you're not getting anywhere, because you keep focusing on what you love, and that's good. That's a good thing. And you get connected to what it feels like now that you have that. And then you start to think, oh, I'm never going to do it. This isn't working for me. Who do I think I am? And then you move backward, right? So Robert A. Russell says, you cannot follow 2 lines of thought and get 1 result. And so you've got to decide, you're going to get a result for sure. But what result? What's the dominant of the two thoughts? The dominant of the two thoughts. So that's why you really want to notice, what are you thinking about most of the time? And change your thinking. It's conditioning. Your thinking is conditioning. It's habitual. So you want to change it. Let's go on to read a little bit more from this book. You will continue half slave and half free. It's like you're bound, but yet you're partially free, until you cleanse the mind and flush out every old fixed, unhappy thought that enslaves you. You know, I love that whole idea of cleansing the mind, cleansing the mind. So there's a process that I have that I created many years ago that really is a cleansing of the mind. It's also building of the paradigms. And it's a process called Power Life Script. And you can find out more about that at Power Life Script. And I know many of my subscribers are already Power Life Script users. They're actually members already of this Power Life Script program, but you want to cleanse your mind. Now, what are you cleansing your mind of? Think about when you cleanse your dishes, or you cleanse your body, or you cleanse your clothes. What are you doing? You're getting the dirt off, right? Well, this is really what you're doing when you're cleansing your mind. You're getting the dirt off. So you want to notice when you're being dirty. That didn't sound right. You want to notice when you're being negative in your thinking, which is kind of like dirty thoughts, right? Destructive thoughts. You want to notice when they're coming up for you, because if they're there, you're in destructive mode. You're going to be damaging everything that's in your path. Now, before I go on and read more, I'm going to start addressing questions, because we're getting a lot of questions that are coming in right now. And I want to make sure. I know Eric is just running around like a chicken with his head cut off right now, gathering questions from Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. And so he's posting them all into WhatsApp for me so that I can address them for you right now. So I'm going to go there and start addressing questions. And so the first question is from Zybel. I want to know if the scripting system is your main reason for success. Okay, so I suspect, thank you, by the way, for that question. And what they are referring to is the Power Life Script. So the question is this the main reason for my success? I would say it's one of the reasons, and probably the number one biggest reason. Why? Because as a result of using my Power Life Script, I've reprogrammed my mind. And I've reprogrammed my mind with thoughts and feelings and emotions that are only in alignment with what I desire. And I listen to it over and over again. So I have my little earbuds right here. They're already charged, ready to go. And this morning I went out actually and picked up something. I was listening to my Power Life Script this morning already a number of times. I'll listen to it again later a number of times. So this is really what's reprogrammed my mind. Because when you think about it, like when I started working in the personal development space, I was one messed up individual, like really messed up emotionally, messed up in my thinking. And there was a lot of work required in order to really change that thinking and to condition myself into experiencing better and better results. So it took time. It took a long time. And yes, I was reading from the books, and yes, I was going to seminars, and yes, I was studying, but I wasn't applying it enough until I created this process called the Power Life Script. That's really when things changed significantly. So I really appreciate you answering that question. I think everyone on the planet should have a Power Life Script. I absolutely believe that wholeheartedly. I've had many people that use the Power Life Script process tell me the same thing. The other thing is that I find that a lot of people who have created their Power Life Script have completely changed their life. Or in some cases, they've changed a part of their life, an area of their life, whether it was finances, and that's what they wanted to work on. So they used the Power Life Script to work on their financial situation, turned it around. I had one guy send me a message, and in his message, he said that he 10 times his income. I know another client of mine whose life was an absolute mess, kind of like mine, only in her particular case, she was going through a business that was going under, and she was going through a divorce. And she'd been married like 25 years and really struggling to make ends meet. And I remember her telling me that one of the things that she had to do was she had to sell her stuff just to get money to pay for groceries, because she didn't even have any money for groceries. And so she's using her Power Life script today. She's been using her Power Life script for many, many years. And she will tell you that it's absolutely changed her life as well. I know some people have used the Power Life script to attract their soulmate as well. I've seen people use their Power Life script to attract or buy their dream home. I've seen people use Power Life script to just change their self-esteem. I've seen people use Power Life script to increase their business. And so, as you can see, it works on anything. It's like that Frank's hot sauce commercial with that little old lady who says, I put this shit on everything. And it's kind of like you can use your Power Life script on everything. Excuse my language, by the way. Hope I didn't offend anybody. I suspect I did not. Okay, so we have another question here. Thank you so much. I love these questions and I really appreciate that one. Great start also to our time here together. All right, so Butterfly0821 says, please give me advice on staying persistent and focusing on my desires. Okay, I got a lot of advice on that. One of them is get yourself a Power Life script. Now, Butterfly, I suspect you have one, do you? If not, then create one. Now, here, I'll give you some advice on this. Now, of course, we teach the whole process in powerlifescript.com. But here's what I suggest for you. By the way, Eric, I don't know if you were able to do this or not. I can't see the comment section, but Eric, if you can put the morningmanifestation.com link for people to sign up, put the Power Life script link for people to sign up as well, that would be great. You're probably already doing it. I just don't know because I can't see all the little chat box at this time. Anyways, so to be persistent, like persistence is really a discipline, right? It's a discipline. And so if you're looking to be focused on your desire and be persistent in that, you've got to discipline yourself to do these things on a regular basis. Now, we have something called the Manifestation Toolbox. And Eric, if you would please put the link for Manifestation Toolbox as well on these three chat boxes for everyone. The reason why I mentioned Manifestation Toolbox is because we've got a quick start guide there for the Power Life script that you can download, and it's all free. There's free resources on there. We also have a checklist, like a daily discipline checklist. So what I suggest that you do, Butterfly, is go there, download it, set some disciplines, watch all those videos as well, make sure you're using the tools and discipline yourself enough to stick with it every single day. Now, one of the reasons why people aren't persistent is because they don't have a goal that they're in love with. So make sure that you have a goal that you're in love with as well. So that's what I would suggest for you. Make sure you get on over there to the Manifestation Toolbox. You're going to find many valuable, incredibly valuable tools that are there for you. And they're all designed to help you create phenomenal success. All right. So Eric, thank you so much for posting that link. I see it's there. Perfect. Okay. He's great, isn't he? I'm so grateful for Eric. Okay, so Michelle has a question. I appreciate your work and encouragement and your media team. I appreciate them as well. Thank you. Where would I go for financial affirmations? Do I demand, decree a certain amount wanted or a large amount, not knowing how, but getting into the action I can do every day? I want to start more lives. And need to overcome what I'm doing to talk about. However, I have a well inside me. Okay. All right, great. So the question is financial affirmations. In the Power Life script, you'll find financial affirmations. All right. So yes, go to Power Life script. It's part of the program that we include, and you'll find many different samples in there. Another program that we have is a program called Way to Riches. And that's a program to help people create more prosperity in their life. So you can check that out at, Eric will put the link there. I think it's waytoriches.com, but Eric will definitely post that for you. All right. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate you asking the question. Liliana, what a pretty name. Dear Peggy, thank you so much for all you do. Can I have a goal like this? I'm so happy and grateful now that I receive millions of dollars easily, effortlessly, happily, and miraculously. Then I have a lot of things I want to do with the money, but I can't decide exactly how many millions of dollars I want. It causes me resistance, and that's why I keep the options open. I would be grateful for you if you would guide me. All right, great. Thanks, Liliana. Now, that question was asked last week, and I know I answered it, but it probably was around the time that the internet went poof. And so thank you for asking again. I really appreciate you being here, and it's such a great question. Number one, I would suggest get a specific goal, like absolutely get a goal. How many millions would you want? Just try it on for size. By the way, it does not create any resistance. It has no power whatsoever. You are creating the resistance. All right. If there's resistance there, it's within you. And understandably, you're going to have resistance, interestingly enough, in the beginning. Why? Because you're programmed differently. Your paradigms are not yet in support of what you desire. In other words, if you haven't been earning millions or you don't have millions, then your paradigms are very likely, actually, I can say that with certainty, are not aligned with having millions. However, the good news is you can create them. How do you create them? The best way to create the paradigms is with a Power Life script. Absolutely miraculous product and miraculous methodology. So decide how many millions you would love. And think about this, which I wrote about in the demand principle. No more effort is required to aim high in life, to demand prosperity and abundance than it is to accept misery and poverty. Therefore, if no more effort is required, what would you love? So if I said that to everyone that's on the call right now, what would you love? What would you love as far as how much money or how many millions would you love to have in the bank account? The answer that you're all going to give me is going to be based on what you think is possible, even though you don't have to know how, you don't have to know how, you don't have to know how, but you're going to answer me based on what you think is possible for you and based on what you would really love to have. So I work with people who have billions of dollars as a goal, and I work with people who have tens of thousands of dollars as a goal. What's the difference between those people? Their paradigms, right? What do they believe? What is it they believe is possible for them? That's what your paradigms are determining how you're setting your goals as well. But if you really start to think that anything is possible, that you truly can demand whatever it is that you want in your life, and you really believe that, just ask yourself, what would you love? 10 million, 20, 100? What would you love? What would you love? Declare that amount. It's kind of like something you're going to try on, but then you're going to condition yourself by believing through space-time repetition of many ideas using your Power Life script. All right. So that's what you're going to do. I actually had an anonymous question sent to me, Eric. You probably won't even see this, and but I'm just going to address it. I'll leave the person's name out. But this person had sent me an anonymous question via email, and that's not the way we do it, by the way. This is the way we have questions addressed. So, anyways, the question was around a relationship upset, and that this individual's spouse was basically dictating who they could or could not hang out with. And they felt that that other person was being controlling, and certainly did sound like that. But you're always in control of how you feel. I would never let anyone control me, right? Just don't allow it. Now, in this particular case, this individual has allowed that controlling to go on for many, many years. And therefore, it's become a pattern. And of course, that's the way they expect to be in their relationship. But it's not the way the relationship is going to be moving forward, because they're going their separate ways. So I said to this individual, just stop the controlling. Just say, no longer am I allowing you to have any control over me, especially how I feel. That's over. That's in the past. It may have been. Now, you don't have to do it aggressively or rudely. You can just do it with confidence, with love. I suggest you do everything with love, and it can go smoothly and harmoniously. So I appreciate that question being submitted as well. The next question is from, oh, there's a bunch more coming in here. Monique. And it says, was there a moment in your life that you noticed you made the right click for a change, a happening maybe that put you on the right track? Oh, such a good question, Monique. I love this question. Was there a moment in your life that you noticed you made the right click for change, a happening maybe that put you on the right track? It's interesting that you asked that question because, oopsie. It's interesting that you asked that question, Monique, because the first thing that comes to mind are events where there have been challenging times in the world, like in economy. And let's go back to, I think it was around 2007 and 8. And the only reason why I'm a little hesitant is because I didn't participate in it. But I believe back then there was this thing that was going around the world that was called a recession. And I remember hearing about it and thinking to myself, I feel so strong and confident that, and calm actually, that I am simply not going to participate in this recession. And even though it's here and it's very real and it's relevant, as a matter of fact, my business grew that year as well, but not other businesses were experiencing the same. Now, I've been running a business online, and of course, the internet space is just continuing to get better and more effective. And I'm always studying and applying, and we're always improving upon things. And so business just keeps getting better and better and better. But I think back to that time in my life where there were things going on outside of my control, and just remembering how I felt about it because I felt so strong. And I believe it's because of my Power Life script, to be honest. There have been other times where I've experienced incredible challenges. And so when I think of your question, Monique, and think about times in my life when things really, I felt like it clicked, it was more about times when I've been experiencing real challenges, like significant challenges in my life. One of the ones that comes to my mind is back in 2004 when I was going through a divorce. No, it wasn't 2004. It was 1994. And that was a divorce from my first husband, Charles. And I've now been happily married with Denny for many, many years and love him and have a wonderful relationship. But I remember going through the experience of the divorce and thinking that it was a great learning experience for me. And part of the learning was that I was really paying attention to what paradigms that I had that were contributing to this marriage breakup. And I realized that the paradigm that I had within me was a paradigm that I didn't believe I was worthy of love. I had lots of other really good paradigms, but that was a paradigm that I had that I hadn't really even noticed before and that I hadn't been working on. And I felt it necessary to work on it. So it was a blessing. That part of the experience was a blessing. It was an incredibly challenging and emotional time for me, as I'm, I know that can be for many people that go through divorce, but yet it was a great learning experience as well. So I would say that the times where I've really noticed that things are really, working and working extremely well is when I've been up against challenges. And I just noticed the strength that I have that I built over time. Like even when COVID hit, and we're right in the middle of it still today. Here we are, August the 13th today. And I remember when we started hearing there is a worldwide pandemic. And of course, we'd never experienced anything like this. There had been one in 1917, the Spanish flu, but I wasn't living in 1917. I'm sure none of you were living in 1917 when that occurred. So it was an unknown. And what happens is, when people enter these periods of unknown, they get fearful. It's just natural. We live in a very interesting world where there's lots of fear. And so people became very fearful. But I didn't. I might have had a flash for a moment of curiosity. What does this really mean? What does it really mean to the world? What does it mean to our family? What does it mean to my friends? What does it mean to my husband and I? What does it mean to the economy? What does it mean to whatever? And so I had that curiosity experience of what does this really mean? But I wasn't fearful of destruction. I wasn't fearful of loss. I wasn't fearful of anything negative. And so I believe that, Monique, part of the growth that I've done over these years and that I continue to do just continues to strengthen me and build the emotional muscles to, which is really your paradigms that are just continue to get better and better and better every day in every way. And you know what happens? Your life gets better and better every day in every way. Such a miracle, such a wonderful thing. Okay, perfect. So this is so great. Love all these questions that are coming in right now. Thank you so much. Eric, I see one on Instagram there. Perfect. Oh, it might even be a comment here, actually. Let me just see this. BBB, the MB lifestyle? Or anyways, maybe that. Anyways, here's what it says. I'm listening to my Power Life script. My paradigm did everything to stop me from getting it done. And Peggy keeps saying, go for it, do it now. And the lessons, I choose listening to Peggy. Okay, great. Well, wonderful. I'm happy to hear that. That is great news. And that's true. Paradigms will stop you from even doing that. So I appreciate you. Thank you. Okay. Kanique says, ma'am, after 40 years in personal development, I think now you are at that point. Your emotions are always in your control. I think in 24 hours, not even a single second, you didn't get negative. If yes, then how can I achieve this state of mind, or will it take me 40 years also? That's awesome. That's such a great question. And so let me just say this, negativity definitely enters my mind. It enters everyone's mind. It enters Bob Proctor's mind, and he's been studying this for 59 years now. I think almost 60, maybe, is it 60? Anyways, everyone experiences it. It's just kind of like natural conditioning. However, I'll notice it, boom, and switch over to positive as fast as I possibly can. Does it have to take you 40 years? No, absolutely not. It doesn't have to take you 40 years. It could take you 1 minute. I'm serious. Just decide no more. Bob Proctor says this, and I absolutely wholeheartedly agree. Dissatisfaction stimulates growth. So if you're dissatisfied with your life, I suggest immediately get your Power Life script done and listen to it right now. Listen to it multiple times a day. So what I've learned over the years, you get to benefit from. Yes, I've probably spent millions of dollars in my study, and very happy that I did so because it's returned to me multiplied. So I put the work in, I put the effort out, I did all the investing and then put the time in, but I have a greater understanding now, and you get to benefit from it. You're benefiting from it right here, right now for free, right? This is a huge benefit to you. So no, it doesn't have to take 40 years. So get that idea completely out of your mind. Absolutely does not have to take 40 years, but get excited if you really are dissatisfied with where your life is now, which I was. Then just know that you can change it. Make a decision today to change it, but do it right. Now, if you're wondering what are the details and how exactly do you write a Power Life script, invest the $87, which is peanuts in my opinion, to learn how to do it. Like I'm telling you right here in this call together, these 30 minutes that we've been here together, this is the most powerful tool I've ever used. And so if I've created what I've created in my life, why wouldn't everyone? Actually, that's not a good question, is it? Everyone should be doing their Power Life script. And as I said, I see everybody doing it. That is the thing that'll change your life. So if you haven't done one already, do it. Get on with the work. Listen to it every single day, every single day, every single day. I love it. Oh, I love this question here. Oh, that's so good. I hope you grab that one, Eric, because it's about manifesting a soulmate. Okay, so Alpha Red says, thanks, Peggy. How do you eliminate regrets, career, relationships of the past? I'm 37 and feel as though I've missed out on a lot. I don't want to use the word depression, but it's close. Okay, so get rid of that idea completely. Don't even give an ounce of energy to depression, all right? Happiness, joy, that's what you want to be focusing on. How do you get rid of it? You know, it's interesting that you asked this question. I'm so glad that you're asking this question because I recorded a morning manifestation video about this morning. And here's what I want you to understand. You can go back in time in your mind, okay? You can go back in time, as you're talking about here, and you can revisit an experience from the past, and you're going to connect to it emotionally. What are you doing? You're giving it energy. You're making it bigger and bigger and bigger. You're reliving it in the current moment, even though it happened in the past. You've got to stop doing that. Now, let's talk about what you can also do with this great thing that you have here called your mind. Think about what you would love to be experiencing in your life. Easy, freaking easy to do. All right. Think about what you would love to have, do, experience, be in your life. What would that be? All right. You get connected to it. You emotionalize it. Yes, it may be something that you're going to in your mind into the future, but you're using your mental faculty called your imagination, and you're connecting to it as if it's happening right now. What are you doing in that experience? You're anchoring in the feelings, the emotions, the states that put you in what's called alignment, perfect alignment. You are attracting that into your life. So use your time. That's the time we all have, the time you have, the time I have, to only focus on what you would love. And if you're finding that a challenge, stop saying it's a challenge. Plug in your Power Life script, hit play, hit play, hit play, hit play, hit play, hit play, hit play until it's like you're just like totally reprogrammed. What are you doing? You're reconditioning your mind. It takes time. It's hard work. It's Wallace D. Waddell says in The Science of Getting Rich, this is the hardest work there ever is or was. Bob Proctor called me last week. We're having a conversation. We're talking about what we're talking about right here. And he said, this is hard. There's a lot of work involved. It's like, absolutely. But if you're willing to put in the work, if you're willing to put in the effort, you will absolutely benefit. You will benefit. I know, because I'm experiencing the benefit of it myself. Now, if I seem like I'm getting excited, I am, because I just want to drive this home that you've got to do the work. It's so important. It's not enough to just hop on a Thursday at 12 noon call with Peggy and here's some great information, or head on over to YouTube and watch some videos. You got to do the work. What do I mean by the work? You've got to discipline yourself to write your Power Life script, to record your Power Life script, to listen to your Power Life script. But that's not the only thing I do. I have my book of demands on my table here. I've got affirmations that I write every day. I've got my gratitude journal sitting right here beside me. I've got my visualization tools that I have beside me. I'm an addict for this stuff. So when you and I finish, it's not over. The studying, I was studying this book this morning. I was studying from my own book this morning. You got to saturate your mind with this stuff. If you really want to make some change in your life, saturate your mind with this stuff and do it now. Don't wait another minute. This is your life. I've got a book here on my desk by a woman named Natalie Vachon. And she died a month ago today. I'm recording a podcast later today with her daughter. And her daughter lives with my nephew. All right. That's how I know. I never met Natalie, but I know her daughter. Now, this book was written in French. It's a book called Chapeau Bleu. Now, the story about the hat, I have goosebumps as I mention it. The story about this particular blue hat, that's what Chapeau Bleu means, blue hat in French, is that when Natalie was diagnosed with cancer and was going through chemo treatments, she knew she was going to lose her hair. So she was at a fair one day, and she saw this booth with all these hats. So she thought, I need to get a hat because I'm going to be losing my hair. So she went over to the booth and she tried on this hat. And it wasn't blue, it was a different hat. And the gentleman who was selling hats said, oh, that hat looks so nice with your hair. Well, she started to cry because the reason she was getting a hat is because she was going to lose her hair to chemotherapy. So he realized that he obviously said something that hurt her. So he pulled off this blue hat off the shelf and he said, this hat would look really good with your eyes. So that's why she bought the blue hat. So she wrote this book, and this book is about her when she was diagnosed with cancer. And my husband's French Canadian, and he was translating the back of it for me. And I've actually requested from my sister, Judy from Hasmark, who published it, if she could send me a Word document, because I want to translate it page by page, not me personally, but I'll use Google Translate because I want to read what she wrote in here. But the point is, she was 53. She left this earthly plane a month ago far before what they expect to be an expiration date for a human being on this planet. She left way too early, right? A lot of people just go through life thinking, I'm young, I got lots of time or whatever. Do the work now. We don't know how much time we have. Do the work now so that you can be living an amazing life, that you wake up every morning and just say, thank you, thank you, thank you. You feel so blessed to live such an amazing life. I got to tell you, I walk around all day long giving thanks, feeling grateful, just feeling my license plate on my vehicle says grateful. Just because I feel so happy, so grateful for turning around my life. And yes, I've studied and studied and studied many different people, but there's one person that I really, really, really need to thank. And she's looking back at me when I look in the mirror. I did the work. And I'm going to continue to do the work because I know it changes lives. And I am here to change your life. I'm on a mission, baby. My mission is to change millions of people's lives, help contribute to changing people's lives in beneficial ways. That's why I do all these free stuff too. That's why we created the Manifestation podcast. That's why we created the Manifestation toolbox. That's why we created these live events, why we do the morning manifestation videos. We just created something recently, which I'm not even sure is updated yet, but we're working on something else. So all kinds of free stuff that we're giving away. We just announced this week, we're doing a what if series of webinars. Hopefully you signed up. They're all free. They're all free. It's for you to help you make these changes in your life. Okay, so we normally do these questions or these calls for about 30 minutes. We're going to go a little longer today. There's still more questions as well. Okay, so here's a question that says, how do we keep our interest? Interest in what? In a goal? Like, if you're not interested, if you're finding you're losing interest, it might not be passion. It might not be your passion. Like, I've started things, I've created programs, or I've started to create programs or started to write books and lost interest. I knew it wasn't the time or it just wasn't right for me. So just pay attention. Like, I find that if you're passionate about it, you won't lose interest. Jean says, hello, thank you for all that you do. My question is, should we have a goal statement for each goal or a long statement similar to a Power Life script? I have a Power Life script that has all of my goals in it. So yes, the Power Life script, but it's not just a collection of goals because you've got to emotionalize. You got to feel what it feels like to be living that life. But yes, they're all in there. I have one goal or I call it a demand, on a demand card that I carry with me. All right. So that I have one particular goal that I do have on my demand card that I carry with me. All right. The next question is from J. Lewington Earl. Nightingale and Bob Proctor often talk of choosing one worthy goal. My goal has been to a certain amount of money to buy my home, but I recently realized having a relationship is more important to me. Can you fit both in one goal? I love this question. For both becoming now, like maybe one comes under the other. Sure. You could say, I'm so happy and grateful that me and my significant other, or I'm happily married and that me and my partner are living in a beautiful dream home that we absolutely love. Absolutely, you can blend two goals into one. I do it. Okay, how do you get over rejection in love? Just let it go. Just release it. Let it go. It's in the past. You can't do anything about it. You can't change the time you got out of bed in the morning. Just like I talked about earlier about going back in time. If you're going to go back in time, only go back to something that's going to feel good and serve you. You can even revise the experience if you want. In other words, choose to think thoughts that are only in alignment with what you desire. All right. The next question is, Dear Peggy, I'm in love with someone. Is it possible to use this law to attract him into my life? Sure, absolutely. I attract my husband into my life. It wasn't a specific someone. I talked about having someone in my life that I was in love with. So you could mention that person's name, but it might be them, might be somebody else. But see yourself in a happy, loving, respectful, committed relationship, or whatever words you want to use to describe it. And you'll attract that. Maybe it's that person, maybe it's somebody else. It could be that person. All right, great. The next question is, how can we mix emotion in our idea? Think about how you feel. So on my desk here, I have this sign that says, now that your dream is fulfilled, how do you feel? Now that your dream is fulfilled, how do you feel? Ask yourself that question. You will connect to the emotions. All right. Okay. I think we need to stop the questions because I got another call coming up. So I'm gonna address the questions that are here that Eric has already posted. We'll address more next Thursday. So I'll just address the ones that are here and then we're going to call it a wrap for today. Okay. All right. Great. All right. Next question is from Eden Caraway. How do I overcome money paradigms? I feel like I'm being called to become a BPG consultant, but the money holds me back. The money doesn't hold you back. You hold yourself back. So just decide, is that something you'd really love to do? Make a decision. The money will come. It'll absolutely come. It always does. So you overcome money paradigms with a Power Life script, but you also overcome money paradigms by recognizing what your money paradigms are, and then by creating new ones that are only going to support you in the achievement of your goals. Goal Achievers says, you once talked about writing a Power Life script. I want to understand, how is it different from writing in a gratitude journal? Well, writing in a gratitude journal is just what you're grateful for every day. They may be very similar. I'm quite certain what I'm writing in my gratitude journal is also in my Power Life script. So they're similar. It's just another way of approaching the same thing to stay in good vibrations, good emotions. Okay, Emma says, have a challenge with the pressure raising my 2 small kids and also pursuing my career. I feel exhausted many times. Please give me advice. Then you've got to think about things that are only going to support you. So feel energized, even in how you're feeling. Feel energized. Like I'm an energizer bunny. Like I am rarely not feeling like I'm ready to, run a marathon or something. I'm so pumped. It's a choice. It's a choice. How you feel is always a choice. Use your kids as inspiration, right? I know my son and my grandson are absolute inspirations for me, and just in every moment that you have, just think about, how will I choose to feel great in this experience or feel energized? Maybe you're someone who does exercise regularly. If you're a regular exerciser, even if it's walking, even if it's taking the kids to the park, but you're playing with them or whatever, that should stimulate really good energy as well. Make sure that you're taking great care of yourself. And anything else, like any other affirmations that you might be saying or any other thoughts that you have, make sure they're in alignment with what you desire. Power Life script can have you feeling energized. I talk about how I'm an action taker, how I get things done with such ease, and how I only work half-time or part-time. I talk about that as well. Like your Power Life script is really a description of you living your amazing life. So if you haven't done one already, Emma, I absolutely suggest that you do one and just choose to focus on only what you desire. Is it wise for someone to have more than one Power Life script? Well, how many lives do you have? I would think you'd have one Power Life script. You may have other audios, like I've created audios with my husband when we've both been working on a particular goal, or I've created a particular audio when I wanted to focus on one particular area for a short period of time. But pretty much one Power Life script is the way to go. You shouldn't have more than one. You have one life. Encompass every part of your life in your Power Life script. So include relationships, health, fitness, nutrition, how you're feeling. If you want to be more calm, your financial situation, spiritual things, things like vehicles that you have, the way that you're living, the way that you're traveling, your business, career, anything that's important to you, include it all in a Power Life script. So there'd be no reason why you'd have another Power Life script. One is really what works and what works really, really well. All right, everyone, we're going to call it a wrap for today. It's such a pleasure to be back with you guys. Check out those links that we suggested. Make sure that you are subscribing to our morning manifestation videos. As I said, we send them out 3 times a week. Check out the manifestation toolbox. We've got so many great tools for you there as well. And be sure to check out the Power Life script. As you can see, I'm an advocate for it. I believe in it, and only because it's changed my life and many, many, many other people's lives as well. Always a pleasure to be here with you. I wish you a wonderful day, and come and join us again next Thursday when we do our next live event. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Eric. I really appreciate you. Thank you for gathering all those questions and doing all the posts. Eric's wonderful. Big round of applause for Eric as well. And thank you guys for being here. Without you being here, it would certainly make it a little challenge to do this kind of thing. So we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye for now.